Welcome to the U.S. Defense Line channel. President of Ukraine Zelensky considered the incidents due to relentless ground attacks and almost continuous bombardment as madness. Russian army intensified its attacks in Bakhmut region. Ukrainian war, which has been going on for 8 months, is again the scene of very hard clashes after the attack launched by Kyiv to take back the lost lands. Russian forces have concentrated their attacks in Bakhmut region in Donetsk region in recent days. It has been officially confirmed that the most elite troops of both countries are here. With the arrival of the so-called Army of Russia's dead in Bakhmut, Zelensky stated that the situation was insane. Ukrainian troops in Bakhmut, which has been target of Russian troops for months, have managed to repulse at least 8 major attacks so far and continue their resistance. But now Ukrainian army has pierced the defense line. Bakhmut is critical as it is on the main road to the currently Ukrainian cities of Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. Ukraine is using all its power to take control of the main road. If Ukraine can control the main road, it can make massive attacks both in the Donetsk region and in Luhansk through this road. This road is very important for the control of Donbass Basin. Targeted by Russian troops, Bakhmut is under almost constant bombardment with relentless ground attacks. Ukrainian military sources describe the suicide troops sent by Russia to the region as Army of the Dead, because it is considered impossible for the soldiers to survive the region and return to their country. The use of such a unit against Ukraine's most experienced troops is quite insane. In the last 24 hours, the eastern part of Bakhmut region has fallen to Kyiv forces. Ukrainian soldiers continue to advance even in the most difficult conditions. Ukrainian troops who liberated the city of Kharkiv from Russian army are officially in Bakhmut. With the arrival of this elite unit, course of the war in the region changed. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that the operation of his troops to take Bakhmut under control for months has gotten out of control. In fact, the president interpreted the situation after this situation as madness. Zelensky also said that this is where Russian forces are most prominent. Zelensky emphasized that the soldiers in Bakhmut were protecting Ukrainian lands and hailed them all as heroes. It was announced that Ukrainian troops made progress in Kherson while Russian soldiers again surrounded Bakhmut. Russia had stormed city of Kherson in first days of war, but now it has come under pressure due to the advance of Ukrainian forces along Dnieper River. Russian authorities in the city ordered the complete evacuation of city. Ukrainian intelligence chief Kirill Budanov stated that Russian army has sent additional troops to the region and prepared the streets for defense. Budanov drew attention to another great detail. Officials argued that the city was not completely evacuated and that if the city fell into the hands of Ukraine, Russia would make a big ruse to save the situation, because Russian army is turning city into a fortress. Ukrainian troops have been advancing towards Kherson since the beginning of October. According to Ukrainian army, 90 were liberated from Russian army in the area. While the siege preparations were continuing for city of Kherson, an unprecedented event occurred in the war. Over Black Sea, a battle took place between Ukrainian air defense systems and a swarm of hundreds of kamikaze aircraft. In the vicinity of Kobolvo, Ukraine, a unique battle unfolded between Ukrainian air defense systems and Russian drones. In the conflict, the Ukrainian army used the German Gepard anti-aircraft system. Very fast shots were fired, and explosions took place all over the sky. Ukrainian defense systems from many places opened fire on Russian drones. According to the report published by local sources, nearly 100 kamikaze drones were detected in the region. After the drones were detected, a large number were also shot down by the drone defense systems. As Putin's air force, it suffered a great loss. According to the claim of local sources, nearly 60 drones were shot down, although this is not fully confirmed. 3 large drone groups were preparing for a new attack in region, but Ukrainian weather radars detected these drones. Local sources also announced that Ukraine was victorious in Great Air War that broke out. After this event, a remarkable statement came from the Kyiv administration. Ukrainian Air Force spokesperson Yuri Init made statements about the course of the war at the press conference. The Ukrainian official has officially announced that more than 300 Iranian-made Shahid 136 kamikaze drones have been shot down. Drones, which stand out as a critical weapon in the war, have been used extensively on infrastructures in recent months. Although there have been allegations that Iran has sent drones to Russia for a while, both Moscow and Tehran administrations denied this claim. However, the emerging information officially confirms that Iran has sent drones to Russia. In the clashes in Kherson region, Chechen troops suffered a heavy defeat. Azov Battalion of Ukrainian Army shot 23 Chechen soldiers and 58 Chechen soldiers were wounded. According to Ramzan Kadyrov, Chechen troops suffered heavy losses due to artillery attack of Ukrainian Army in the Kherson region. Chechen unit on the left bank of the Dnieper, located in the Kherson region, was hit by artillery fire of the Azov Battalion. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov announced that they have run out of weapons and equipment to supply their troops in Ukraine. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov announced arms shortage months after he reported that he had taken heavy blows in the war. It has also emerged that Russian government will set up a new council tasked with overseeing the supply of weapons to Russian soldiers to solve the problem. Regional officials added that they are working with Russian Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov to provide the missing equipment. Peskov claimed that the measures taken by Moscow have already given the first positive results. However, at the moment, Russian soldiers in the combat zone cannot find ammunition. Earlier this year, a United States defense official claimed that international sanctions against Russia were affecting the arms industry. It is reported that Moscow has difficulties in replacing the guided missiles used in Ukraine due to the embargo on electronic components. A report also stated that Russia has a limited number of hypersonic weapons due to the microchip shortage. South Korean President and Russian President Vladimir Putin face off. Putin announced that if South Korea supplies weapons and ammunition to Ukraine, relations between Seoul and Moscow will be shaken. In a statement made by the South Korean government, it was stated that humanitarian aid went to Ukraine. The first delivery of Turkey's armed unmanned aerial vehicle Bayraktar TB to Poland was made. In his speech at the delivery ceremony, Polish Defense Minister Mariusz Błaszczak announced that Poland's air power is now stronger. Turkey's indigenous unmanned aerial vehicle Bayraktar TB2, which proved its success by being used in Syria, Libya, Azerbaijan, and Ukraine, has officially entered the inventory of Polish Army. Within the scope of the agreement signed between Poland and Turkey, which includes the sale of 24 Bayraktars, the first delivery was made to Poland. At the ceremony held at the 12th Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Base in Miroslavik, 6 Bayraktar TB2s were received by the Polish Armed Forces. After the Russian-Ukrainian war, it emerged that Poland also became stronger militarily. Russia has now sent 82,000 soldiers to Ukraine. The newly arrived reserve soldiers came to the front. Moreover, it is stated that 220,000 reserve soldiers will be sent to fight in Ukraine. 300,000 soldiers officially joined the war. However, it is obvious that Russia's soldiers will have difficulties in the region due to insufficient equipment. The partial mobilization declared by Russian President Vladimir Putin has now come to an end. The process of joining 300,000 reserve soldiers to the Russian army has been completed. It was also announced by Shoigu that the enlistment of those with compulsory mobilization duty has been completed, but that some military branches will continue to receive applications for voluntary military service. The U.S. State Department announced that it is preparing a plan to more closely monitor weapons supplied to Ukraine. Since the beginning of the war, Ukraine has been allocated $24.1 billion in financial resources by its international partners. Andriy Demchenko, spokesperson of the State Border Protection Organization of Ukraine, stated that an average of 80 to 90,000 Ukrainians pass through Ukraine's border gates with European Union countries and Moldova every day, and that the number of people entering and leaving the country is equal. A senior Russian diplomat said space assets helping Kiev in its conflict with Moscow could be targeted. John Kirby, Strategic Communications Director of the White House National Security Council, responded that Russia's threat would be acceptable. Vorontsov, who serves as the deputy head of the Department for the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons at the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, said that this climbing path could be disastrous for all nations that rely on space technology in their lives. White House National Security Council Strategic Communications Director John Kirby said that if Russia hits U.S. satellites, it will pay off. We'll see what happens in the coming days. We have come to the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. By subscribing, you can easily follow new videos. I wish you all happy days. See you.